thriller, so I want them to be sort of nervous in a good way. I want them to be guessing. I want them to be surprised and ultimately satisfied. And I want them to be hopefully asking themselves what they would do if a situation like this, were to show up at their front door. My aunt owns Echo Valley Farm in Westchester, Pennsylvania, so that's a real farm, and she boards and trains horses. So that was sort of the genesis that I thought maybe be really interesting to set a thriller on a farm. We hadn't seen that in a little while, and I loved that idea and that setting. And then, I love writing, I love writing women, and I love writing about moms and daughters. I've done that a few times in my career, and I've always really enjoyed it and been inspired by the women in my life and their relationships and the way they talk to each other. So that's usually how something comes about, is you get a couple ideas and you try to figure out what the story is to build the connective tissue around those pieces you're interested in.
It just pushed so many buttons for me. It was, I found there was so much emotion in it. It was kind of heartbreaking, this story of this mother and daughter who love each other but hurt each other so much. And I just couldn't predict it. And it's so rare to read a crime film that's surprising and shocking and you can't get ahead of it. And to get all of that and some deep, kind of rich adult themes, and for it to be a fun movie to watch, it just seemed, too appealing.
I love this script. I remember I was sick in bed with COVID when I received it, and I was like, let me just take a look at this, and I was absolutely riveted by it. It was so wonderful what Brad Igelsby wrote. And then I watched Michael Pruss's movie Beast, and I was really intrigued, and I thought, wow, the match of this writer and this director is just too much for me to resist. Look, I think that we are complicated and messy people often. We don't always know what the right choice is. We don't know where boundaries are. We don't know whether we're helping sometimes our friends or our loved ones or hurting them. But we make choices that are our best efforts. And what I love about this is that these are people who really, really love each other, who are doing everything they can to sustain a relationship.
I like to lean into scenes that are exciting and that you can't only do one way, where there's loads of different ways to kind of push the other actor around and have them push you around. And the scenes were really, really well written. So that was, but he definitely has an effect on people, and I enjoyed that too. Sidney's just done all this fantastic work, and in a much shorter career, obviously, but has just made so many great choices. And our scene, we really had to kind of go at it. We only have one scene together, and it was my first day on set, but it was great to really, what do they call it? Bump heads, sort of you know what I mean? It was nice to do that with her because she's not easily dominated as an actor or a character, and so it was really cool to try and find a way to have to do that in the scene, which is fantastic.
It's a surprise. The entire film, it just keeps you on the edge of your seat the entire time. It's incredible.
Very exciting. I'm very pleased. It took a long time to make the film. We had to wait a year when the strike happened, and so it's really, really nice to be back visiting. And last night we had a lovely question and answer with Julianne, and she's great fun. We became good friends on the film and had dinner a lot after. So it's lovely to be back together. She's very prolific. But she's been in some of the best, she was in The Hours, she was on Spectacular in The Hours. And she has such, she has what Isabelle Huppert has. They're both quite small. They have beautiful faces that the camera reaches out and grabs meaning from. And, she's very intelligent. She's got a Scottish background. She's very, very attuned to this country. So, she knows a lot of people I knew, so we had big gossips about New York and people we knew. She's very chatty because she does so much film that actually she doesn't particularly want to be talking about the scenes when we're not doing it. But I was kind of going, shouldn't we be worrying about this? But she's got that wonderful way that Americans have of being both relaxed and attuned at the same time. We here work much harder like that.
When we first got Michael Pruss, our director, on board, I said to him, I'm actually reading it with Julie in mind. and I'd always wanted to work with Julie. Ridley had worked with Julie on Hannibal years ago. Obviously, I worked with Ridley at Scott Free. And Ridley said to me, Julie's probably the best experience I've ever had working. She's absolutely fantastic. If you can get her, go for it. And so Michael, he said to me, do you think she'll do the film? And I said, I think the character's interesting. There is a moral centre to this film. And, we got, you always get a bit of luck in life, right? We got a bit of luck so Julie said, I want to do it. And then Sydney was really keen, and the two of them wanted to work together. So that's how you need a bit of luck and magic for it all to coalesce.